Welcome back, YouTubians. Gary with VW Jawbreaker. Today, we are finally starting that hot 1915 for Jawbreaker.
Yay!
Finally got the engine case on the stand. We got the old one out in the yard because who cares? It's got a crack. There we go. There is the forged counterweight crank, forged rods out of the old 1641 that's going into this nice hot 1915.
Yay!
Yay!
We've got straight cut gears on it. We've got everything assembled. Went ahead and changed out all the rod bearings, even though they looked amazing. I mean, we're down to this, might as well. If you want to learn how to assemble your crank, I'll go ahead and throw a link up there or down in the description, or it's in the playlist. But it'll show you how to assemble everything and make things really easy for you. So now, get that done. We got our cam set up. We got our lifters. We did do a few oil mods. One of those being, we cut a little groove right there. We cut 3 of them in all the lifters to help the oiling on the lifters. Come back over. We also enlarged the center hole right there. That journal is what feeds the 1-2 side of the case for all the oiling. So it's paramount to enlarge that a little bit. We also did a few other things. We're not going to go real deep into that because that's not what this is about. But if you have questions, reach out or use that thing called
oh yeah, Google. Alright guys, goggle.
Let's get things assembled. Alright, so before we drop the crank in, we've got the center split bearing. We need to oil that up. Put a little lube on it.
A little bit real good.
Alright, again, in my video where I show how to do your crank, it'll actually show how to mark your bearings. And what we're going to do now is go ahead and find those marks. There's my top mark. I talked, so you probably didn't hear that click in. You spin this one around. Alright. Let's get this back one set. Should be right about, there it is. I felt it drop. This one still needs to drop. And just trying to get it lined up with that dowel pin. There we go. Nope. Popped out. There it goes. That feels good. Now if you really want to make sure, take your other half of the bearing, drop it over. It doesn't rock, doesn't move, you know your crank's in all the way. So now that the crank's in, we can go ahead and start getting cam bearings in, cams in, lifters in, and all that fun stuff. Alright guys, little tip here with your cam bearings. If you can pardon the shakiness. So these are the double thrust cam bearings, as you see.
Can you see? Of course you can see, it's right in front of you.
You got a thrust surface on both sides, okay? Problem is they ride right down here. See how it fits in real nice? Just a little bit of play. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and put that bearing in your case. Set your cam in there and make sure you got a couple thousandths of play. Not much. But here, as I just reached in front of you, sorry. Here's the other bearing I have not done yet. Doesn't even fit. You have to sand the sides of the thrust surface down in order to make them fit in there. That's how you get those to fit. So take yourself a piece of glass or a super flat surface, some fine sandpaper, throw some WD-40 on it, and just work it back and forth until you get the fit that you want. Alright, we'll go ahead and lube up the lifters. A little assembly lube on the lifter itself, around the shaft. Shaft. Drop them on down in place. Want to make sure everything's nice and oiled. That way things don't run dry. Again, I like to at least build oil pressure first before I even fire up the engine. But this also just ensures that you don't have any dry metal on metal surfaces. You definitely want oil protection. I might use a little too much, but it's alright. Now, as for your cam, always be careful putting on oil back here in the back. You just want to drop a little in there. So you don't want to get too much back there in the back where your cam plug goes, because then you'd have a leak in the case because it wouldn't seal right. So again, be generous. Here's the thing. I always like to wipe the top of my lifters and then get the break-in lube. Put the break-in lube on the lifter. That's a high zinc compound. That way they wear in properly. You don't have to worry. This will break down in the oil once the engine starts getting nice and warm. It will not clog
your arteries or your Valeries or your Samanthas or...
Oh, oil galleys. That's what it is. It won't clog your oil galleys. So you'll be good. And then take your cam and always mark your dot. So you got one dot there and you have two dots over here on your crank. So what you want to do is not bump the camera. I'm going to line up your two dots with your one dot like that and then just roll it down into place. That's pretty much how you'll set your crank or your cam. Just rotate it over, make sure it lines up, make sure you got that little bit of play in the cam, and that's it. This is starting to wrap up, guys. It's looking good. Everything's together, everything rotates, our timing dots are marked up, lined up, they're there. Just go with it. We got our Permatex sealer on both sides of the case, nice thin coat. We've got a nice bead down in there for the cam plug. All of our bearings. And forgot to lube that one. See, this is why I go over everything. Another reason for me showing you guys is just triple checking for myself. Don't ever question my madness. So, that's it. I need to get my lifter clips out, put the lifter clips on that side so we can drop it down on that side.
Yay!
Alright, so now what we need to do is just get the rods to stand up. Sometimes you push them in, push them out. Sometimes you gotta move quick. Get them up pretty much straight, push them together. And grab the case and hope they don't fall.
Your rod fell.
My rod fell.
Ah, I'm falling. I can't get up. Life alert! Life alert! These guys are gonna be a pain today, aren't they? Apparently.
I have to enlist your help, Levi.
No, I'm good. I'll be
Good.
cameraman.
Alright, let's get the case ready. There we go, we're ready. Line up my mains. My hand off the crank, off the rod. There we go.
Ta-da!
This case is closed! Well, no it's not.
It is,
Now,
but it isn't.
It is, but it isn't. So now we need to go ahead and get her together. What I like to do is take the washer, a little bit of lube, or sealant, put on the back side, and then drop them over. And then we'll go ahead and start torquing it up. As you torque it, make sure you rotate it multiple times. Torque it in a couple stages. That way, if you pinch something, you have a fighting chance of saving it instead of ruining bearings.
We're gonna get to torquing.
Finally got my video guy over here working. We've both been working so much that I haven't been filming, but he has. Remember, hold it back more towards the handle. Now you get more leverage. Come on, boy. Click. Perfect. Next. There you go. Look at that boy work. Proud of this kid. Perfect. Alright guys, so we're buttoning it up. Got the oil pump left. Need to set in play. Rear main seal, flywheel. Case is buttoned up though. I think that's pretty much where we're going to stop tonight. And then he's going to roll this thing out of the garage from not paying attention. That'll be awesome. Let's let it go on down the street. It's on casters.
It's all good in the hood, man.
Use your foot. Come on. That foot. Use your foot for leverage. Oh my goodness. You can't take it to your bedroom.
I'm trying to.
There we go. All right, guys. So I think this is kind of where we're going to button it up for tonight. We're out here having fun, and that's what matters. We don't need to push ourselves and get to the point where, you know, we're getting frustrated, mad at each other, or whatever. So anyway, next video we'll be figuring out deck height, compression ratio, and all that. So stay tuned, guys. Till the next time, be good.